Aloha, people. It's the Ace, and as you can no doubt tell, I haven't uploaded in a while. Mainly just working the entire time, trying to take a nice little break from YouTube. But now I'm back, so I'm here to start the next video. As you can no doubt tell, as I kind of gave it away, we're gonna be reviewing another movie. So, which movie did I pick? Obviously, since I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt, it's Soul Surfer. The story of Bethany Hamilton. The main plot of this movie is the events before and after the shark attack of Bethany Hamilton. Those who do not know, Bethany Hamilton was a surfer who, in 2003, I believe, was attacked by a shark and lost her arm. And then instead of just giving up and throwing in the towel, she persevered and managed to become a professional surfer. I tell you that because that is basically the whole plot of this entire movie. Is just a couple sentences. That's the best synopsis I can give to you. And when you have a synopsis like that, you can definitely see where some problems lie. Mainly in the lack of content. One of my biggest problems with this movie, and I'll say it right now, is how slow and methodical it progresses, especially at the beginning and throughout most of the middle. It just goes on so slowly. They had an entire story lined up to make greatness happen, but they took the shortest plot ever, copied that down to their script, and then just threw a bunch of padding on top of it. And I call it that. It's kind of rough to call it like that because this thing isn't really that atrocious when it comes to padding. Like, I've seen plenty of Family Guy episodes where the main plot doesn't even clock in at like 10 minutes for a 22-minute episode. This thing does have content. However, it has like at most an hour's worth of material, and this movie is an hour 47. So there's still 47 minutes that feels like fucking forever. And that 47 minutes, I'm not certain includes credits and stuff. It doesn't include ads, but I don't think it includes the credits. So the problem is it has mainly almost an hour of actual material that it does, and then the rest of it is just, it either just stretches it out or puts a shitload of padding in. I'm not entirely certain why. Couldn't they just cut this down, cut out a bit of the padding, and just made it a 90-minute movie? Why, I do not know. Actually, you could have fit more screens if it was 90 minutes. A little under 90 minutes, you could fit more screenings into the movie theaters. Yeah, I remember. I was in like high elementary when this came out. I remember seeing the ads, and there's one thing about the ads that I will get to later on. Without further ado, let's get into this movie. So, we're an intense accident sequence and some thematic material. Intense accident sequence. Okay. Yeah, there is an intense accident sequence, and we'll talk about that a lot. Because that is the main thing that happens in the movie. Talk a bit about, she just gives a bunch of exposition about her entire family, and you get a bunch of credits, names, and I will definitely come back with them because I got a lot to say. An obvious edit in 3, 2, 1. This is our main actress. As you can tell in the opening credits, and by probably the box cover, this is played by Anna Sophia Robb. You might recognize that name. Yes, she was the actress who played in Bridge to Terabithia, Witch Mountain, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where she was Violet Beauregard. This is going to be a problem that's going to be throughout the whole movie. She still acts like if she was from Because of Winn-Dixie and Bridge to Terabithia. She still acts like she was in that from this movie 4 years ago in 2011 time. 4 years ago. The problem is she barely emotes at all. She says that wide-eyed, like, or I don't know, the kind of flat delivery like this that I always do, like that, you know? She's not very expressive. And when we get to the big scene, I'll tell you why this isn't the best fit. You could find another actress for it. I'm not trying to criticize her talent as an actress. She's a much better actress than I could have ever fucking been. Especially if I had to act in a movie like this, she would have been a much, much better actress. The problem is the role, especially with this being more of a drama, she doesn't convey a lot of emotion other than that kind of expression the entire time. She has like the same expression no matter what the fuck is happening throughout the whole damn scene. I know I know I'm harping on this early, but the problem is it lasts throughout the whole movie. So, now with that out of the way, let's talk about another aspect of the movie that is going to be painfully going on throughout most of it. So, as you can no doubt tell, it's a religious movie. And those have a certain reputation of being notoriously awful. And no, I'm not just picking on pure flicks. Pretty much every religious movie, big budget titles like this, always come out not good. Probably the most infamous one is God's Not Dead and God's Not Dead 2. I'm Not Ashamed, War Room, and Old Fashioned. A lot of movies that people have talked about, and it did not come out very well. And there's a lot of problems with religious movies, and mostly for me, it comes down to the writing and the presentation of it. Now, I will harp on this about the end of the movie, and it'll be mostly of a defense of this one, because out of all the religious films that I've seen quite a few of them, this is by far the best religious film. And for the reasons why, I will explain at the end. But another thing to keep in mind is this is a religious film. And keep in mind, I am not attacking you for your Christianity. In this case, it's Christianity. I am not attacking you for any beliefs that you have. I am attacking a movie that wants to basically try to manipulate its viewership by making buy a purchase a ticket to honestly a subpar movie.
Also, did you notice right there in the credits when you see this name? Yeah, if you ever see this name, prepare for a very religious movie.
That right there is Kevin Sorbo. When you see the name Kevin Sorbo, expect the movie to probably not be very good, and him to be one of the best actors in the movie. For a lot of shit that I give God's Not Dead. I'm not going to review it because it's already been talked about. For a lot of shit that's been given to that one, at least he knows how to act, and he turns in decent performances. In God's Not Dead, he's honestly the best performance, and he's the best actor. He knows how to express himself. He knows how to basically, he has experience and he knows what the fuck he's doing. And usually he's the best part of any movie. Here, I would probably have to say he's the best actor again, mostly because the role that they gave him, he's pretty good in it. Unlike, say, God's Not Dead, where he has to play the strawman atheist. He's given little to no direction, and while he does his best with the role, that one just comes down to bad directing. But anyways, this is just a warning. If you ever see Kevin Sorbo on a box cover or on the movie credits, you already know that, one, he's probably going to be the best actor in it, and two, the movie's not going to not be very good. Oh boy, another actor I need to talk about. There's a name in these credits that, if you don't know how this ends, you obviously haven't watched a lot of bad movies. Because he was the main role in a movie about 35 years ago, more or less, this actor played in another movie. Yes, that's right. This guy is Dennis Quaid. In the movie he starred in 36 years ago was Jaws 3D. So, let's break the let me say this again. There is not only one movie that involves Dennis Quaid and a shitty looking shark. Now there are two. Jaws 3D and Soul Surfer. Jaws 3D being obviously 100 times worse than this movie. But I had to point that fact out. There's now there's not only just one bad shark movie with Dennis Quaid as a lead. There's now two of them. I thought he would learn his lessons from Jaws 3D, but apparently, nope, he never did. Bunch of Christian music later, and now we get to our main part of the entire movie. Surfing! There is a lot of surfing. No, I'm not going to do a stupid counter, because literally surfing is half this name's fucking title. The other part is soul, and I should have given a hint that it was a religious film just by the term soul in the background. Right, that was a weird edit. Okay, we're on the beach, and then we go to the underneath of trucks of a skateboard.
Hey, Hobson.
Hey, Kiyoki.
If you get tired waiting for the waves out there, you can always come and kick it with us. We don't have to wait for the action.
Well, when you get tired of the hype, come surf some real waves.
I'm not even going to get into the surfer versus skateboarding debate. I just will keep in mind I have done a video on us skateboarding in the past.
You can tell these are not good knee pads. They're just some painter pads I found in my garage.
Because I live inland, I only have surf competition. Okay, the only thing of substance of this entire scene is just to know the girl in the black shirt, Melina, she's the bad one out of this. Though not really, she's just trying to win a contest. And she lost, so she's a bit salty because of that. Alright, another thing I need to discuss, and I know I'm harping on about this for a while, and I'm on a long tangent right now, but this is a problem that also lasts throughout the movie, especially when it comes to any type of action or competition surfing, doesn't matter. The editing is so spastic and weird. It just cut here, move this over a little bit. The spastic editing of especially the action scenes gets rather distracting because I'm trying to watch it and then I'm now looking at another person up. Now I'm back to the surfer. I'm now looking at the ocean. It's like literally if I'm at a surf contest and I keep going like that the entire time. No, I've never been to a surf contest ever. I'm not sure if I would imagine it would be kind of quite boring, especially if it was on a calm day where you just see the surfers all just sitting out there like. I get it. I think I got it a little bit, but there's a fine line between doing a bunch of spastic weird edits and then doing nothing. Anyways, we move on. They get their rewards. She's salty because she had first and then it just got taken right out of her hands. Shitty editing 101. Someone's salty about it, but they don't care. What the fuck was the point of that exchange? Like, I didn't understand what was the point. It just seems to come out of fucking nowhere. Like, what the fuck? And then another thing occurs that will also be happening. This movie seems to be kind of forgetting that it's also a religious film, so it kind of shoehorned Christianity in at random. So it'll be like, Yes, I'm a surfer film. Oh, nope, we gotta go to church now. We gotta take it to a grinding halt to go to church. Okay, now we're back to surfing. Now church. Surf, church. God, I can't even say that aloud. But it keeps on going back and forth between the two, and it's actually kind of jarring because it feels like the surfing plot doesn't have enough material to extend over an hour, so they have to keep doing this random cut all the way to some religious type thing, and it brings the story to an absolute grinding halt. With one exception, and it's just as cliched as you expect it, but there is one exception to that. We now go to a church. We're looking at items.
Blob and a lava lamp?
What was funny about that? There's another thing I noticed about this. So, remember in the beginning when I said the shark attack happened, I think around 2003? Yes. However, look at the computer right there. That is an iMac. I don't know if you remember 2003, but iMacs looked like this. You know, the iconic colored plastic in the back with a 4:3 screen ratio and a disk drive in the front and on the side. Now, another thing I wondered, first I thought it took place in 2003, but then I actually looked at it again, and this is not 2003. This seems to be a modern retelling of it. It's just something weird that I noticed that I think a lot of people wouldn't actually comment on.
You have your surgery tomorrow. The doctor said no.
Oh yeah, so apparently Bethany's father, and he's having surgery tomorrow. So the main idea is they want to go night surfing, but their parents won't allow them to. So they're going night surfing. And we get a weird perspective from underneath the water. Foreshadowing? Oh wait, duh, of course it is. And you'll find out in a second.
Just say the word, and we can enroll you girls in Kapa'a, where you can ride the bus for 45 minutes each way and do 8 hours of straight work during prime surf hours, because I'm all right with that.
Actually, I love homeschool.
Me too. Adore. Totally.
Homeschool? Yeah, I don't even want to open that. Alright, here we are. The main event of the movie. Now, this movie. This is the whole plot has been building up to this point. Yes, all probably about 8 minutes of this movie. And it's been slowly building up to this. And after some really annoying soundtrack, they're going out there, they're having a nice time, going surfing. They're just enjoying life just in general. With some cutaways, some random cuts to surfing. And now we get to our main event.
Can you believe we get to come out here every day?
Yeah.
Alright, I added that. But the real audio isn't much better. Just look at that thing. Just look at it. It looks like shit. Like, I swear to God, I think I saw better in Jurassic Shark made by people who don't know what the fuck they're doing. Take this screenshot alone. Look how generally fake it is. It just looks like complete and utter shit. And Christ on a bike, it makes me laugh.
Where's the shark at?
Okay, what in the fuck is that expression? Alright, there are so many things that are up with this scene. Okay, one, Anna Sophia Robb is not putting any emotion in. And there's apparently a reason for this. Apparently, when Bethany was attacked, she managed to stay cool, and which saved her life. And I will give her props that I believe that happened. Because for me, I'd be screaming my head off and probably would have bled out and died. Because holy shit, I would be screaming my head off like, oh my god, a shark bit my arm off. But Bethany Hamilton apparently stayed cool the entire time, which mad respect for. However, Anna Sophia Robb looks like she's not even reacting to it. She's like, alright, just gotta paddle, just gotta paddle. She looks like that the entire fucking time! Like, holy shit. How do you not put any fucking emotion into your thing? Man, this scene is so boring, it's making me yawn.
Keep on the board, keep on the board. Fireman, you get the shore. Go, call 911.
Wait, why would they stop on the fucking coral? You're on sharp coral on a bar like that. One big wave comes in, you're fucked. Everyone's going to capsize, and now you have to go all the way to the other end of the shore. But it's also kind of convenient that the waves kind of stop flowing that badly. And now we get more acting of her just going, like, barely reacting to anything. Up, trip and fall, that's a classic. What is this music in the background? Sounds like, sounds like a fat Hawaiian guy belching into a didgeridoo. It's fucking insane. And now, for whatever reason, it seems a lot of time has passed. And one question, why did they go there? Especially if they parked so far out. That's going to be a pain in the ass to get to. Uh-oh. Okay, that was probably one of the most spastic edits I've ever saw. It's like he saw the phone, nearly teleported across the truck, had a rock in his hand already, smashed a window, found the phone instantly, did that. Did his dad not give him the keys to the truck? Because honestly, in a situation like that, but the problem with this is, why did he give him the keys to the truck? The thing is, why didn't he give him the keys to his truck? Why do you have to expect him to go all the way over there? And then second, first off, why lock your truck? You're in the middle of nowhere. Second, why couldn't you brought your valuables to the beach? Especially if you knew it was going to be deserted. Put your valuables right where you would be. That way everyone can keep an eye on it, and if anything were to happen, you can get a call. You can make a call real fast. Get help moving instantly instead of delaying life-saving care. Also, I'm not sure if they could have parked the truck closer, but it seems so far out.
Right, here we go.
Dr. Ravinsky, we need this from Stat. It's a teenage girl from the North Shore. Shark attack.
Oh, right. Apparently they don't have any other rooms that they could put her in. I mean, I get that his surgery doesn't look super serious, sensing that he is awake the entire time, and his surgery doesn't look to be that serious, but they seriously didn't have any other room they could have treated Bethany in? What? What?
I know. We're gonna get your mom. We're gonna get.
Also, there's a weird effect with Bethany where it blurs her face. Thing is, I actually kind of like it. Alright, by the fact that she is that pale, it seems that she lost so much blood. I don't know if she'd be alive this whole time.
Watch your step right here. Watch your step right there. Where the ambulance at? They're not here yet. Don't worry about the ambulance. We'll meet her down the way. Alana, get the board. Get her out. All right.
Also, if you looked at that edit in the back, they somehow managed to instantly go way faster than the kid running. So did he just fucking crawl all the way there at that speed? I mean, the editing in this is so inconsistent.
Tell him it's Bethany.
No. Get me out of here. You can't move. Got to get up. Get out of here. Walk. Get me out of here.
What the fuck was that about? That was entirely pointless. I get it, but you should have added more to it.
My family.
They're on their way. They're gonna meet us at the hospital. She's going into hypovolemic shock. We're almost there.
Breathe deep.
What the fuck? It sounded like her heart just completely stopped, and oh, no, now it's beating again. Did these idiots not know how to use sound effects properly? Okay, a paramedic, you're not... What the fuck are you doing? You're not putting pressure on her. I didn't know it was Casual Friday for the nurses. I didn't know they would wear a Hawaiian shirt. I don't know how a defibrillator would have helped that. A blood transfusion is necessary. Okay. I guess we're in the life now, and oh dear God, look how bad that looks. Holy shit. Wow, you look like you're actually surfing there. Well, that looked like shit. Okay, so that was the main shark attack scene. So, there was a lot to digest in that span of probably about 4 minutes. One, the editing was not good to convey real seriousness. It just hopped around all over the goddamn place. The scenes with the doctors clearing out the OR were too short to be of any importance. It was like a random cutaway. The scene with the mom on the phone and then her in the car, those were edited at an appropriate length to convey the seriousness of the situation. Like, especially when she was on the phone, she like...
Wait, what?
Like, it's all seeming normal, and then her world comes shattering down when her daughter was on death's door. You could definitely can feel the emotion behind it. You could feel it in the background. And it was portrayed very well. And those scenes were long enough to where you could feel the emotion, feel its worth, but also not think this is pointless and tacky. The same cannot be said about the doctor and the father and the doctor, because it just happened so quickly you have no time to process it. She has that weird face blur effect, and then at the end they hit us with that really, really shitty green screen effect to where it literally looks like they're using a fan to blow water onto her. It looked bad. And it had that classic Anna Sophia Robb of like that the entire fucking time. I get it. It was like her ascending to heaven if she went through the curl, but the fact that she went down decided she wanted to live. I think. Well, it started looking like shit and it ended looking like shit. How satisfying. Problematic accident. Yeah, definitely. Like it was an accident to actually fucking make this thing. Or make it look so shitty. Anyways, we're back in the hospital. After who knows how much time has passed. She feels her arm, which obviously is there. They're obviously using that padding effect to make it not look like there, but she looks like she's like, has her arm up like this and her arm back behind her like that. It's honestly a pretty good effect. I will not lie. They did a good job masking it.
The things that you're going to have to learn to do differently is extensive.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Obvious. Oh, yeah, family argument. So the family's obviously torn up about this like any other family would be, and then we get this weird scene. What the hell was that? I am so lost on that one scene. It looks like Bethany was going to wake up, but it was her friend that saw it, which I'm not saying doesn't happen, but it literally was edited and shot like it was going to be Bethany waking up from having PTSD of being bitten by a shark, obviously, but it was just her friend dreaming of Bethany in the hospital of what she never saw How does this make any sense?
You know that? You need to go see her.
See, that line right there, you should go see her, implies that she never saw her ever, so how the fuck was she dreaming of that? Well, after the visit, she apparently gets to go home now.
Dr. Ravinsky said that I can get back in the water as soon as my stitches come out.
Can we try a shower first?
Okay, that was a good line. Just mow him down. Just make this like a fucking game of GTA. What was that on her shoulder? Did they literally just throw a cover on her shoulder? So wait, go back there, go back there, go back there. Wait, when the fuck did she ever have that thing on her? See, right here. She is now wearing that bandage, and at a decent effect right there where her arm was missing. She's obviously wearing the green sock trick, but same thing. We get to this part right here, and she's wearing some, like, tarp over her shoulder. See right there, she's wearing some, like, starry wisp thing on her shoulder right there. Like, what the fuck? When did she get that? And then if you look really closely, you can tell right there, her elbow is bent like this. What the fuck? Why couldn't you just done the green sleeve trick again? Yes, I get it. Now maybe show me this long, painfully scene of how difficult things are for a person with one arm to do.
I have some good news to share.
What news?
Holt got a call from that show, Inside Edition, and they want to give Bethany a prosthetic arm.
Wait.
Alright, that kind of sprung up on all of them. Okay. Up for like 5 minutes, get the sandwiches down, and then now we're all like, alright, hey, there's a chance to get a prosthetic arm. Because of course. And because of course.
Terrible things happen to us sometimes. But I have to believe that something good is gonna come out of this. I don't know what that is. I really wish I did.
I don't know if it's just me, but I wouldn't take that as an answer. I don't know. To some people who actually believe that and then something traumatic happens to them. For me, I wouldn't take, well, this is just another plan. Maybe this is his plan for you. No, I would want an actual reason from the people I trusted. And then to have this shit play out like that. No, that's just me. Also, one thing that you might notice is there are bars on top of the footage that you'll be watching. That is because of two reasons. One, the thing that I recorded from, I have a DVD VCR combo that I use to record. If it wasn't solely for the VCR, it can play widescreen movies, but it plays it in that widescreen. It only plays in a full screen format, so you have the bars on the top on a full screen TV. So it has that. So I tried my best to edit it down, but there still be those bars no matter what movie it is. And second, I'm currently watching it on another DVD player, and the bars are still there. Who the hell knows? But anyways, let's just get right back into it. So far we left off, Bethany meets her, I believe, youth leader when she arrived back from Mexico, and then we start onward. Well, they go out and then they find the shark that did the crime. I guess. I mean, I literally don't know what the point of this was. That's another thing about this film. It just has a lot of random scenes just thrown in there. Yeah, I could come down and edit a lot of these scenes out and probably cut off about 20 minutes. So after a couple pointless scenes, we see her finally acclimating to using her arm, using life with one arm, where she's using her feet. Yikes. So after cooking up some food, the only really thing of substance there was she wants to get back in the water. And she does, and then apparently her brother has a bodyboard, and that's actually something I really love doing, is bodyboarding, because I can't surf. She just keeps trying and trying and trying. Just a montage of her failing until eventually she makes it. Thanksgiving, they do a quick toast. He just basically thanks Kevin Sorbo for saving the life of their child, and that's all that really happens. Now we get to the next scene. They finally found the arm of Bethany. Oh, never mind. It's just that prosthetic mentioned in the first part.
Not weight bearing.
How am I supposed to use it to push up on my board?
I think you might have to do that with the other arm.
So is there a way I can grab the rails to duck dive?
Honey, why don't you just give it a chance?
How am I supposed to paddle and surf in this thing? I mean, look at it.
Oh, right. Apparently Bethany's kind of upset because of the arm not being able to bear any weight on it. Which, to be fair, it was 2011. A lot of these prosthetic limbs weren't as good as we have it nowadays, 10 years later. But even still, seemed to be a little bit of an overreaction, where she wouldn't even give it one chance. But the weirdest thing ever came from the dad, because he looked like he was upset the entire time, but he was the most encouraging of her to actually try it. It was just, we got really weird conflating messages. Then her mom comes in and is now, oh, you don't need that. The right guy will find you. Okay. Apparently, though, this scene in particular, there seemed, from a while ago, I do not know how accurate this was, but apparently there was an edit. They forgot to edit out the arm from the green sleeve that she was wearing in one of the trailers. However, after searching up a couple of the trailers and watching them, especially for this scene, I have yet to find it. And then on the movie itself, which they obviously used clips and then edited differently, it appears to the green sleeve appears to be completely edited out. So if there was a mistake, I have not seen it, or maybe they found an unedited footage of it, put it in, and then fooled everybody. Who knows? But it was that scene in particular that really spurred my interest of seeing this, and spurred the memory of all the trailers that I've watched about the inspirational story of Hamilton and stuff. And that's what convinced me to actually watch this thing, and then I actually watch it, and it was so fucking boring, I actually fell asleep the first time watching it. It's a shame, because it's supposed to be a nice, true, inspirational story, and it's supposed to pique my interest, but the problem was this middle part is so goddamn lame. I could not pay attention and focus through it. But that's just something I noticed, and I thought I needed to point out. Anyways, she shows her a picture of Venus de Milo, which apparently is one of the most beautiful statues ever made. The fact that this statue has no arms is supposed to be a massive inspiration. Okay, I can see your point, but the thing is, any bust is just head up. They have no body, but they're still beautiful too. Well, that gives her the inspiration to start surfing again. Well, after one painful montage of surfing and filming, okay, you know what? No, I'm kind of done with this. I'm gonna put a fucking montage counter right here. I'm gonna put a fucking montage counter, and we're just gonna count the montages, because I'm not gonna count how many times surfing is, but there's a goddamn montage. I feel like I set for a few of them right now, so I'm just gonna have a fucking counter on the bottom of the screen right now, and I'm gonna retroactively count all the montages right now. Anyways, let's continue. So after all these montages, we finally get to the contest. Then now we're talking about the storm surges and the tsunamis and storm surges in Thailand. That will come back later.
So you're actually going through with this? Yeah.
Well, I know Melina is supposed to be the antagonist in this thing, but the thing is, I will give her credit. She is treating Bethany as a rival. She isn't taking it easy on her. She doesn't need to take it easy on her. She treats her as competition no matter what. So, it is one thing that that the antagonist does right is she gives her some competition to deal with. So, there you go.
Oh, a lot of blankets just dropped in on Melina Burke.
Well, okay, obviously poorly done. It just like she's right there and then it magically just cuts into her pushing her into the water. My god, that editing was not good. I mean, I get it. She is being kind of a bitch at this point, kind of going a little too rough, but even still. And how well is that interference gone with? Well, it can't be very well because Bethany just keeps on getting this impacted by waves and broke the board. So after losing, she just basically just throws in the towel and is just done with everything. And her father is just not happy with any of this.
Dad, just stop. Okay? It's over.
Oh, come on. You failed one competition. Because you fail one competition doesn't mean you can't do anything. It could have just been, hey, you had a bad day out there. I know I've done plenty of things before. I always try to do multiple tries. Even if the first one was an absolute friggin' disaster, I still go out and still attempt to complete it. You just got pushed around by one giant wave and you just got beat by one competition. Okay, that's just one competition. There's always the next competition, and it's your first one while surfing with on arm. I'm pretty sure they'll give you another chance. Like, your sponsor will give you another chance due to your circumstances. So just losing one competition to saying I quit forever after this is just not the greatest thing ever. Sure, some things you can quit after one go at it. For example, I tried to do iFly, and that was absolutely horrific, and I'll never do it again. But I'm not being paid or sponsored to do any of that shit. This is a sponsorship, and after losing one arm, I think they'll give you another chance if your first competition doesn't go well. They have to give you multiple chances, because just like that, people just have bad days. But throwing in the towel after one bad experience isn't the way to go. Well, after that, they apparently go to Thailand. Yeah, I told you that part would make sense. Okay, remember last time when I said this? With one exception, and it's just as cliched as you expected, but Thailand is the exception. This is where she's with her youth group, and yeah, as I said, it's the most cliched fucking thing. Yeah, she goes in here, she thinks, wow, my life is like miserable and shit, but then she goes to an actual place where people are actually suffering, where people now lost their homes and pretty much everything is in disaster. You kidding me? That was the same sound effect in FNAF 3.
Everyone knows that I'm way too smart audio.
Yeah, I'm not blaming you for feeling sad or upset or anything, but this is the kind of stuff that you honestly need to prepare for when you do work like this, like nursing or going to a natural disaster area, you have to be ready to deal with stuff like that, where people spill out their life stories. They're super vulnerable like that. I'm not blaming her for crying or anything, but seems like something the teacher should have definitely have gone with and try to fundamentally prepare them for this reality. No, they don't want to go to the fucking ocean. Did you not hear a couple of lines ago? These people are absolutely terrified of the water. The water came in here and it's destroyed everything. I don't think swimming is their top fucking priority. You know what I always wondered? I wonder what the background characters are see this shit are wondering about. Alright, so that's the only mention of Thailand throughout the rest of this movie. And I told you, it was the most cliched fucking thing ever. It helps give her a new perspective on everything and teaches her, oh, there's more to life than just surfing. Dear God, it's so cliched and so overdone. Also, how the fuck is teaching this one kid how to surf? How is that going to get everyone else in the water? I know it's not everyone else. There's a shitload of people that are more inland that are getting help and aid and all that shit that are petrified. But even still, how is that one kid surfing going to get the confidence to do everything else? Especially if they were at ground zero and saw the storm surges coming inwards and were terrified of the water. I can definitely see. I don't get why one kid surfing would instantly change their mind, but again, what did you expect?
There's an 8th grader from North Carolina who lost his arm, Logan, and he says that he's gonna try out for a school soccer team because of me.
Oh, the school soccer team. There's actually one girl that I did meet who didn't lose her arm like up here. She lost it actually right around here. And she was actually one of the best soccer players on the my high school team. Well, I say my high school team. She's like multiple years older than I was, but yeah, that's pretty cool, dude. Yeah, go out for that soccer team, Logan.
Actually, Melina, I wanted to thank you.
For what?
Just for never taking it easy on me. It means a lot.
See, right there, I told you. Melina never took it easy on her and gave her some competition, because I guarantee you, if she would have won that, there would have been that pride issue of like, well, I didn't really want it because everyone just went easy on me and let me walk away with a victory. But no, she never did.
Bethany Hamilton's appearance here is truly a remarkable comeback. Against all odds, she has earned her spot into the national championships.
What do you mean earned her spot? Kind of just quit after the first one. How did she get to nationals? Was there a bunch of contests that she did very well in and this never showed up? Because I don't understand how she got into nationals. Especially if that first contest had anything to do. God, why is the ending of these things always haphazardly constructed? At least in Surf's Up, the big contest was set a couple days, and there was nothing in between. And when Cody failed, that was only because he tried to surf against another one and failed before the contest. Yes, I have watched Surf's Up. It's a decent film. Nothing I would ever really review because it's honestly similar to this movie, but much, 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 much better. Also animated with a much better soundtrack.
Now she is in the lead. Blanchard in second. Melamed in third. Layla Hurst in fourth. Bethany Hamilton is in fifth. And in sixth right now is Moniz.
If it's one thing I noticed is that the main characters in all the goddamn sports shows get their full name while everyone else just gets the last name.
Catch a wave? This is her last chance.
So Wait, I don't understand entirely how going underneath was the fastest in this case. And wait, how did she, like, completely overshoot that wave? Okay, none of that made any sense.
Bethany Hamilton is paddling outside the lineup. What does she see?
I don't know, Dave, but no one's been paddling out in that area all during the contest.
Why is she so far out?
What is she giving up?
I don't know.
She feels something.
She's using the force.
The contest may be already over.
No, hold on. She needs to feel the force with this one. Don't worry, don't worry. We just need the cliche way to come in any second now.
Oh, big bomb on the outside.
See? I told you it would show up eventually.
She is paddling. Here comes the wave.
She's taking the drop.
She wasn't up. Up. Doesn't count. It wasn't up. I don't think this is going to count. There's two things telling me. One, I think if you're not standing up in a surf contest before the timer's up, you don't get, it doesn't count. Also, cliches will just tell me that this won't count. I don't want to see that same thing earlier from the same place onward. Please don't do another close-up of your face when you're in that hospital bed. It was absolutely horrific. Oh, why do I get to use the force?
Unbelievable. Bethany Hamilton's amazing wave at the end does not count. She stood up after the horn, so she gets no score.
Maybe that's something you should have said before she did the wave. Especially to the audience saying she was declared to be not up. You should have said that first. That way it won't come as a big shock. You should have said that first. That way you don't have this big dramatic climax. But of course, I know why they didn't. It was just so they can just chew and feel like, oh no, she was robbed that wave. When in reality, they should have just gone like, okay, no, she can ride this wave, but it will not count.
Okay, Dad, it's okay.
But it didn't count.
It counted.
Don't worry, I got a goal in soccer taken away from me because he claimed I did a shove, when in reality, I more or less stuck out my arms and kind of did a rotation motion, where he said I pushed him, when in reality I didn't. I just did a perfect shield and knocked it over. However, they blew the whistle before the ball went in the net, so it was a goal. It should have been accounted as a goal, but of course he called it a foul, so I never got the goal anyway. So yes, I get the feeling of it counts in my book.
I'd like to share this win with Bethany Hamilton because the judges may not have counted that last wave, but I did.
Oh wow, one wave just made you all a good sport, then that was absolutely jarring. Okay, of course. After that narration, there's Bethany surfing. Yeah, now we just have essentially home video clips of Bethany doing things after the attack. Why did they freeze frame it? Not with the character in frame. And that was Soul Surfer. Was it good? Nah, not really. As one reviewer that I read on Rotten Tomatoes, it feels like it's a great story, but it's just covered and drenched with Hollywood cheese. And yes, I do need to agree with that. This was one of the cheesiest and cliched movies I've ever watched. However, from what I could tell, it seems to be respectful enough and a decent retelling of Bethany Hamilton's story. So, is it anywhere bad? No, I would never say it was bad. I would never say it was that good, but it's definitely not bad. Now, as terms of religious films, this is one of the best. I said it earlier, this is the best religious film that I ever saw. There is a reason for that. Movies like God's Not Dead absolutely demonizes everyone that isn't a Christian. This movie basically kind of nearly ignores religion for a bit. Yeah, earlier I said it seems to be doing like, it wants to be a religious film, then a surf film, religious surf. It keeps going back and forth, all over the goddamn place. It seems to be doing that. And that's honestly why it's mixed so much better, is because the religion doesn't take center stage. It's more of a side thing. So that's why more people who aren't Christians can actually watch this and see a more inspirational story, because they actually separated the Christian subjects and the main plot separately. Now, I think if they took away a lot of this religious aspects and they edited out a lot of these boring religious scenes that barely added anything, I'm not saying get rid of the scenes entirely, but trim them down to more tolerable things and then just get rid of some scenes that totally seem unnecessary, I would say this movie would be much, much better, and I probably wouldn't have reviewed it. Just to reiterate, why is this the best religious film? It's because it doesn't demonize anyone that doesn't believe in their own religion. It treats everyone of equal faith and equal identity as equals, honestly. While movies like God's Not Dead demonizes anyone that isn't a radical Christian. So that's my main reason to why this is definitely not the worst religious film, and honestly the best one I've seen. The other better one that I saw was I'm Not Ashamed from 2016, which is about the Columbine shooting. But I will give them credit. It doesn't demonize everyone, but that one, the religious aspect gets so heavy-handed in it. While this one, it seems to be two completely separate things that just somehow got sewn ass to end in one movie. It's honestly surreal to actually watch it in real life, because I had no idea it was a religious film. I remember watching the adverts as a kid. I was actually trying to watch other movies that came out in 2011, like I Am Number 4, and no, that was about it. That's all I remember. That's what I specifically remember watching was I Am Number 4. Yes, I was actually out there to watch I Am Number 4, and I remember watching a trailer for Soul Surfer with I Am Number 4, alongside other horror-esque type movies that were supposed to come out that year. Funny enough, Contagion from 2011 actually came out that year. Came out actually in October that year, but I never watched a trailer for it. I've seen a couple trailers for it on TV, and I've seen a couple Soul Surfer trailers on TV as well. But yeah, I remember watching it and then hearing about it. It kind of just went by and just gone. And then now I actually had to pay for it for $5 on a Walmart bargain bin. And the bottom of the Walmart bargain bin. So I watched it, and then I realized there's something of substance to review here. Again, I'm sorry this review took a while to do. And it just mostly came to the movie itself being so dull that it was impossible to watch in one sitting and try to review in one sitting, because the recordings right now are ranking at about 3 hours. Because one of the things that I did was watch the movie and did commentary, and then did commentary at the end and the beginning and the end. So I'm sorry that it took a while, and that's probably why the reviews probably feel two different types of review altogether. Mostly because I can't do it all in one sitting, because of just how really just boring the movie is. And why is the movie so boring? It honestly has to do with some of the plot and the editing. The problem with the editing is that it's strung together. The transitions between scenes are decently done. The problem is they don't delete scenes that have no impact on the story at all. They just keep scenes in that have no influence or barely anything at all. Like the shark scene. At what point was that even necessary for the purpose of the story? I mean, Bethany didn't even... It wasn't implied that Bethany even saw the shark, or maybe she did. Well, maybe. Maybe she saw it and ran away, but I didn't understand what the fucking point of it was. And there's plenty of other scenes that just seem haphazardly thrown in, which, when you add a bunch of scenes all together that don't link up or just feel like they're taking everything to a grinding halt, it gets really boring to watch. And it honestly drags the whole movie down, because this is a movie that I actually came in not wanting to hate. I came in it with an open mind saying, hey, it could be an inspirational story. Maybe I wouldn't have to riff it or anything, but nope. Who knew? Who would ever thought about a movie about a woman getting her arm torn off by a shark would be so boring? I mean, that should be somewhat exciting of how she overcame adversity and shit like that right there, but they just made it and edited it to the most boring melodrama shit I've ever watched. Honestly, it's kind of insulted to the rest of it. I would probably say it was a mediocre movie. I would probably give it, like, if I had to grade it on a scale of 1 to 10, 4.5 out of 10, between a 4 and a 5, because there's plenty of salvageable aspects of the movie, and there's other decent stuff out there. There's much better stuff out there, and there's much worse stuff out there. It could have definitely been worse, but it could have been much, 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 much better as a story and a surf. If you want a decent surf movie, go watch Surf's Up. It's a bit cheesy and cliched, but it at least has interesting action and a much better soundtrack. Oh, there's one last gripe that I have. I know in the fucking trailers, they overused Katy Perry's Firework, which is a great song, and I love it. The problem is, none of it actually appears in the damn movie. If you check the credits for all the songs that they use, Katy Perry's Firework never appears in the credits. And it's kind of infuriating. Because this seems like something that would be in there, you know? But it's not. Yes, it was filmed on the islands of Oahu, which I actually been to the island of Oahu. That's where I actually got this shirt, and I actually went there for a band trip. We also toured around other parts of Honolulu, predominantly that. We also went to PCC, the Polynesian Cultural Center, and that was an absolute blast. And we've just been around and experienced other things on the island, and obviously went to Pearl Harbor and played in remembrance of Pearl Harbor because it was around Thanksgiving. But yes, I do know a little bit about the island of Oahu, and I absolutely loved it. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. It was a lot of work to make, but I feel that it was worth making. Anyways, guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did like it, please leave a like, and subscribe if you want to see videos uploaded from me. See ya!